I'm Jeff Provine, and I love a spooky story. I've been researching folklore and haunted sites for over a decade, and I believe, if you listen closely enough, there are great stories everywhere. Let's see what we can find while we're visiting haunts. Welcome to the Belvidere Mansion. I'm here with Brian. Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Brian Casey. I'm the Vice President of the Rogers County Historical Society. Glad to have you today at the Belvidere Mansion in Claremore. This is a 1907 home.
Perfect year?
Yeah, good year for the state of Oklahoma.
That's right.
It was built by John and Mary Bayless.
Bayless.
Yep, the Bayless family and their 3 children. Unfortunately, John did not live to see the house completed. He died of appendicitis shortly before the house was complete. But,
oh, wow.
His wife, Mary, and their 3 children went ahead and moved on in. So they ended up selling the house in 1917. We know for a couple of years it was a blood and skin disease hospital right after they sold it.
Okay.
And then it was also in the late 20s, it became an apartment complex.
Okay.
So there was, I believe, 12 units, and that lasted until the late 80s, actually.
Oh, wow.
So it was an apartment complex for quite a while. Shortly after that, it just became deserted and disrepair. So that's when the Rogers County Historical Society stepped in and bought the house from Claremore and started the preservation.
All right, and now we get to explore it.
Yeah.
So usually when you walk into a historical home, you expect to see parlor furniture and old stuff like that, but here we've got a restaurant and a gift shop.
You do. When you first walk into the Belvidere Mansion, you're greeted by the Pink House. There's a lot of Pink House memorabilia. There's also some Historical Society memorabilia, and they continue to change it out. So when you visit this time and you come back in a month or two, a lot of it's going to be different.
Very cool. And you'll need to come here a couple of times to try the different sandwiches.
It's delicious.
Awesome.
So you can have lunch, do some shopping, and the mansion itself is open for self-guided tours.
Oh, well, let's check it out.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're on the second floor where more family members would come than big parties.
Right.
So tell us about the Baylesses.
Yeah, so we are standing in Mary Bayless's bedroom.
Oh, very
and in this room we have some original furniture that she had, some of the green chairs in the room. Some of her gowns are on display in this room as well.
Wow.
So
how'd you get those?
That was given back to the Rogers County Historical Society in the early 1990s when they went into preserving the home.
Awesome. So just a small town said, hey, has anybody seen these things?
Exactly.
They
yeah.
come back.
Yeah. It's Claremore, so not much moves away from this town as it is. So there was a lot still here.
Very cool. All right, so it's the Bayless family, but the Belvidere Mansion. So how did that come to be?
They originally started off by calling this the Belle of Rogers County. And then that just transitioned in the early days to the Belvidere Mansion.
And it's certainly beautiful enough to call it the Belle of the County.
It lives up to its name.
Wow. Okay. As much original, or did you have to gut it? Or?
It really was gutted because there was apartment complexes prior to the Historical Society purchase, but we brought it back to as much original as we could, a lot of the flooring. So we got really lucky when it was turned into apartment complexes. They did the floating floor above all the piping and stuff like that. So it gave us a chance really to preserve a lot of the original flooring, a lot of the original walls, that kind of stuff.
Wow, so we get to see the plaster and the tile.
It's all original, yeah.
Like they would
yeah,
have had.
just patch it up here and there where we had to, but there's a lot of the original still here.
Yeah, which I saw a big hole in the floor. We could go talk about that.
We can, yeah, we definitely can.
All right,
yeah, let's go check it out.
So we have a banister and a hole down to the first floor and then up through the third. What's going on there?
We do. This is the atrium to the house. So when it was designed, it's for airflow throughout the house. So during the summertime, you could open up all the windows and let cool air flow throughout the house. And same concept for during the wintertime. You have your fireplaces going, and this allows heat to rise from the first floor to the second and on up to the third floor.
Yeah, so Oklahoma gets very hot in the summers, very cold in the winters.
Yep.
And we got all bases covered, so we can just open up the giant windows, let everything up, and then all the fireplaces on the first floor warm everything up through the house.
That's exactly right.
Transoms over the bedrooms, let the air flow even individually.
Yeah.
It's genius. It's a really smart architectural house.
It is, it really is.
All right, so we have, usually in big mansions, we got the guests coming in on the first floor, family on the second floor. What's on our third floor?
We have the ballroom.
Ballroom.
So that's where all the parties would happen.
Awesome, let's check it out.
Let's do it.
So here we are in our very spacious ballroom up here. Who would come here?
Yeah, so Mary Bayless was well known in Claremore and in Rogers County to host weddings and parties right here at the mansion.
Oh. So she was an old widow, and pretty much the richest person around, so somebody who can entertain. And
yeah, she still loved to have a good time. She never gave that up her whole life. And to this day, we still host parties here and weddings. This is available to rent out.
So keeping the tradition going.
We do, yeah.
So with so many different eras of history here, we've got a family, we've got a hospital, we've got apartments, like there's gotta be some spooky stories.
There is, and I have some I'd like to tell you, and if we start in the basement, I got a really good one for you.
That's the perfect place for a spooky story. Let's check it out.
Let's go. So we're in the basement of the Belvidere Mansion where I had one of my most spooky personal experiences of the house.
All right.
We were actually doing a paranormal investigation. I had my full team here. Me and Stacy and Chris, two members of my team that actually came down into the basement. We were standing here where your camera crew is. We heard some walking going on above us, so I radioed up to the camera guy, and I said, hey, is anybody walking around right above us, which would be the kitchen area? And he said, no, everybody's with me right here. We're watching the monitors. Nobody's walking around. Right at that time, without the screen door opening, which makes a lot of noise, we heard footsteps start coming down this set of stairs right here.
Oh, wow.
So I turned my flashlight on right away, shined it at the stairs. Nobody was there, but I could tell every footstep on every stair and where they were at, until it got down to this concrete floor right here. And then our K2 meters just binged red completely off the charts as soon as it stepped off onto the floor. That was very, hair-raising for me and my team. That was a good experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's classic. Hard to argue something else, because building settlings, not going to happen on these stairs setting the foundation.
You know, and it wasn't people walking around. We radioed up and had verification of that as well. And luckily for us, we did have a camera set up down here. So not only did we experience it, but all the people that was joining our investigation also heard and could tell something was walking down the stairs due to our camera placement, but nothing was there.
Wow, very distinctive sound.
There was about 15 people total that witnessed that one.
Yeah, well, I guess people were down here, so whoever's hanging out came down to see what was going on.
They came to say what's up.
So what other spooky stories do you have about the Belvidere Mansion?
I've got a couple good ones if we want to go outside, and I can tell you all about this.
All right, outdoor ghosts. That's great.
Perfect.
Creep out of here. Most people have spooky stories inside a haunted house, but you've got some outside, right?
We do. So there's been many occasions where visitors have came to the mansion and been greeted by an unknown person here on the front porch, gone into the house. After looking at some photos, they realized this photo of John Bayless is identical to the person that greeted me to the mansion when I first got here.
Wow.
So right here on this front porch, there's been a lot of stories of him being sighted. There's reports people from the outside have been able to look up of an evening when the Belvidere's closed and actually see people looking out the window.
Oh, wow.
So not only do you get some stories from the inside, but you can actually get some paranormal experiences on the outside as well.
Wow. So the people looking through the window, they see also John Bayless?
They do, yeah.
Wow. So
he's still here.
Still here, which he passed away even before it was completed, right?
He did. Shortly, a few months before the house was complete, he passed away due to appendicitis.
Right. So, but he kept an eye on everything.
Loved the place and stayed here forever.
Hey, that's a good way to do it. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. This has been fantastic.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I would also like to mention this is a museum. We want to welcome people from all over the state and beyond to come visit us, eat at the Pink House, shop at the gift shop, and book their parties at the Belvidere Mansion as well. So
yeah, and who knows, you might even be personally welcomed.
If you like visiting haunts, then become a member of Spill Venture to help support our next episode. As a member, you'll get early and ad-free access to content, as well as exclusive discounts and bonus goodies. Also, be sure to check out our store for all the spooky merch. Happy adventures!